So my area of expertise is typically substance exposure in pregnancy and breastfeeding, and if you want to talk about that, I always want to talk about that. However, after being at this festival, I changed my mind about what I was going to talk about today. So, digging right in. Like many of the people here, my work is dedicated to the rights of people who use drugs. As a volunteer for the People's Harm Reduction Alliance for the last 6 years, I've been privileged to be part of a beautiful and loving community, the most loving community I've ever seen. People's Harm Reduction Alliance distributes clean syringes, clean and sterile drug use supplies, and we are a nonprofit that is run by and for drug users. We serve people who use injection drugs, crack, powder cocaine, and/or methamphetamine. Supplies are really important to stop the spread of disease, but the most important thing that we give out is unconditional love. Love that is reflected back to us by the beautiful people we serve. When I say that love is the most important thing we offer, I am not exaggerating. Love is the opposite of stigma, and stigma kills. If you use illicit drugs other than cannabis, you are part of the most hated and stigmatized group of people that exist today. I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me and said the only time in their life that someone treats them like a human being deserving of love and respect is when they're picking up syringes or pipes from us. Hatred for my community is not only pervasive, it's accepted, and it's even respectable. In the Philippines, President Duterte has called for the murder of citizens who use injection drugs, and people in that country have responded by killing hundreds of their neighbors. In Maine, Governor LePage says that the lives of overdose victims are not worth saving. In movies, in the news, in schools, on the streets, my people are constantly being told that they don't matter, they're invisible, they should just die already, and that they won't be missed. The socially acceptable hatred and oppression of people who use drugs is literally killing us. Syringe exchange is illegal in some parts of this country, giving people a choice between the incapacitating pain of overdose or using a needle that's perhaps been shared by dozens of people and could be contaminated with HIV or hepatitis. Fear of becoming a social outcast means thousands of our sisters and brothers are hiding their drug use from their loved ones, dying alone from 100% preventable overdose deaths. Drug overdose is the #1 cause of accidental death in this country today. We recently surpassed car accidents. People you know are hiding a part of themselves from you. They're avoiding seeking help if they feel that they have a problem, and they're feeling like less of a person because they think that if you know the whole truth, you won't love them anymore, and they're probably right. This weekend at Hempfest, I was surprised and disappointed to feel the same hatred and intolerance for my chosen family. I've heard people talk about how they hate fucking junkies. At the main stage, backstage, there's a sticker that says, "No tweakers." I saw that sticker right before I went on to speak, and it literally took my breath away. I've heard people spread reefer madness-like lies about the dangers of drugs besides cannabis. For a community that's associated with love, acceptance, and science, you are seriously dropping the ball. Back when I was ignorant about drugs and people who use them, I used to feel the same way. I thought cannabis activists should distance themselves from people who used other drugs because cannabis was better, safer, more respectable. I've come to realize that that mindset was based on propaganda specifically created by our oppressors to ensure that we would spend our energy fighting each other instead of fighting oppression. If I think I'm better than you because I use caffeine instead of cannabis to wake up in the morning, and you think you're better than the next guy because you use cannabis instead of OxyContin to treat your pain, and he thinks he's better than the gal down the street who smokes crack, we will never be united, and we will never end the drug war. Cannabis, heroin, LSD, crack cocaine, all of these things are inanimate objects with no intrinsic moral hierarchy. Ending only parts of the drug war that affect us is not only selfish, but it's ineffective. Ending cannabis prohibition will not end the system of mass incarceration that has made us the country that locks up more of its citizens than any other country in the world. Ending only cannabis prohibition will not end the racial discrimination that causes most of the people locked up in cages in this country to be brown and black. It will not ease the burden of thousands of our neighbors who can no longer vote receive food stamps, get a job, or go to college. It will not reunite the families of children who've been placed in foster care for no reason other than their parents' substance use. What we need is a cohesive community of people supporting each other as we fight against the drug war together. We each need to do our part, whether that means cannabis advocacy, syringe access, dismantling the prison industrial complex, drug purity testing at raves, academic research, or overdose prevention. We need to value the work of others and celebrate each other's victories instead of tearing each other down. We all want the same thing. We all want to be able to choose what we put in our bodies and not have it affect our civil and human rights. I challenge you to transform Hempfest into a community that truly has no human enemies like we say we do. I challenge you to love.